Well, ladies and dudes, be very happy about the Trunks' special, The History of Trunks. There is no storyline that is all about that stupid coronavirus. No, his storyline is very darn different. And you can say it is one of the most saddest Dragon Ball Z specials that we will never forget in anime history. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop197. This is my review for today. And today I do have a review, ladies and dudes. Well, I'll tell you the truth is I haven't done an anime review for a while, since my last anime review is the 2D Abandoned Scarred Beast. Or is it 2D Abandoned Sacred Beast? And that was truly one of the most surprising anime series I did see from last year. Something that blew me away the most. And now we can head on to my next anime review. And it's truly one of the most saddest Dragon Ball Z specials I have ever seen in my whole entire life. Yeah, it has a very, very sad note. Lots of it. So, for my next anime review is The History of Trunks. And yes, spoiler alert, the only two survivors is the two half Saiyans, Gohan and our future Trunks. I guess you want to know what the heck happened to them. Well, I don't want to take away too many things about this special, but I'll do the best I can for it. So, without further ado, ladies and dudes, here is my next anime review of our favorite Dragon Ball Z special called The History of Trunks. And now, let's head on to the main plot of the story. Well, you could say in the beginning of the storyline, it did end up in a very sad note that our dear beloved Goku had died from a very terrible heart virus. I don't know why Goku had the heart virus, but it did happen. And all the Z Fighters got very heartbroken about it, that they lost one of the most famous heroes of all time, or truly the most strongest warrior that they ever had in their life. And now we got some androids on the loose. Very powerful, deadly androids called 17 and 18. And they're destroying so many cities one by one. And yes, sadly, all the Z Fighters died. Every single one of them. Vegeta, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu. They didn't mention Chaozu in that part. And even Krillin. All the Z Fighters died. Except for two. Two remaining survivors. One is Trunks, and the other is Gohan. And yes, Gohan finally grew up as a young man, and he's ready to fight, along with Vegeta's son, Trunks. Will they ever defeat the androids on time and save the whole world? Or they will fall into their fate. That's all I could say about the main plot of the storyline of History of Trunks. And I guess everybody wants to know is, what the heck do I think about this Dragon Ball Z special? Well, to tell you the truth is, I really do like this Dragon Ball Z special. It's a very, very sad Dragon Ball Z special. You know, we finally see what future Trunks' storyline is like. You know, living in darkness for a very long time, and the androids are destroying cities one by one. And yes, future Gohan kicked so much butt. And I know that in everybody's opinion, that future Gohan is much better than the Gohan that we have right now. You know, the Gohan who likes to study things here and there, and yeah, we'll never forgive Dragon Ball Super for what they have done to Gohan later on. Yeah, I get the picture, so I agree with all of you. So yeah, History of Trunks is a very good Dragon Ball Z special. It had a good storyline for the most part. The characters are likable. I love the animation. I like the score. And let's just say it did end up in a very, very sad note. It's a very, very sad story indeed. So anyway, let's head on to my strongest points and the weakest points of History of Trunks. I will say for the strongest point for this Dragon Ball Z special is truly the animation. This animation is so darn well done and very well detailed. It was pretty darn bright, it was colorful, it was magical, and it was very flawless. It's a very flawless animation I have ever seen in my whole entire life. Well, what else I could say about animation? The animation rules. That's all I could say about the strongest point of this special is the animation. And as for the weakest points for this Dragon Ball Z special, I just wish the storyline should have been a little bit more longer. You know, add some more parts in the story. Like, Gohan and Trunks' training, or, I wish there was a part about, Chaozu's death. You know, what happened to poor Chaozu, you know, the little midget guy. Maybe a little bit more development and chemistry with Gohan and Trunks, you know, with their brotherhood ship. And maybe a little bit of screen time with Bulma. Yeah, I just wish the storyline should have been a little bit more longer, like an extra 15 more minutes to the storyline. Yeah. That's all I can say about my weakest point for this special. I just wish the storyline should have been a little bit more longer. And now let's go on to the characters. We'll go on to the two characters that we enjoyed the best. First one is Future Gohan. And yes, an interesting fun fact about Future Gohan, he has been played by the actor who played Perfect Cell. I know, it's kind of weird. The guy who played Perfect Cell had played the Future Gohan. And that was pretty darn cool. An interesting fun fact to know. I will say his voice acting is pretty good as Future Gohan. I will say he had a really cool storyline, a great personality, great attitude. And yeah, the saddest part about Future Gohan is he did lose his arm. And he had a scar on his face. It's just a sad shame to see him like that. Very heartbreaking indeed. But I understand why everybody loved this Gohan much better than the one that came from in the later on Dragon Ball storyline. Well, be happy in the later on Dragon Ball Super manga that Gohan's finally back to normal and he's finally back to the way he is. So I'd rather give the author who made Dragon Ball Super credit for maybe he did pay attention to the fans after all. You know, tried to get the Gohan back that we all know and love, and we praise him for that. So yeah, back to Future Gohan. Yeah, he's pretty darn awesome in this story. And I wish there was a little bit more parts about him. You know, how he grew up and how he became a young man and all that stuff. Maybe they should have gave him a little bit more storyline, you know, about the reason why he finally became a Super Saiyan at long last. And all that stuff. So yeah, future Gohan, he's awesome overall. And let's go on to the young future Trunks, played by our dear beloved Eric Vale. Yeah, I really do feel sorry for this character, and he does have a very sad storyline about getting to know what happened to the timeline that he came from. He and his mom are trying really, really hard to survive. You know, while the androids are messing up cities here and there. So yeah, his storyline is pretty darn sad. But he had a very good personality and attitude, and all he cares about is doing the best he can to take down those androids for the count and try to save everybody's future. So yeah, hard for me to say, and I guess everybody wants to know what the heck do I think about the androids. Yeah, they're pretty awesome villains overall, and they have really good storylines and personalities and attitudes. And they are very cool villains. I will admit they are very cool villains in this special, for sure. I guess I have nothing else to say, so let's go on to my final thoughts of Dragon Ball Z Special, The History of Trunks. Overall, The History of Trunks is a very sad Dragon Ball Z special. It had a good storyline, for the most part. The characters were enjoyable. I do love the animation. I love the score. I love the details of this whole entire experience of this Dragon Ball Z special. And yes, it's going to end up in a sad note. Hard for me to say. So for my rating for this special, I decided to give it an 8 out of 10. I just wish they should add a little bit more of this special, you know, add a little bit more storyline to it, and add more details for the characters, if you know what I mean. So that's my whole entire anime review of History of Trunks. And tell me, ladies and dudes, which one of the two Dragon Ball Z specials that really does have a very sad storyline? Will it be The History of Trunks or Bardock, the father of Goku? Whichever it is, leave a comment there and let me know. And join me next time for more videos to come. I hope everything will be back to normal for April. I don't want any more of this coronavirus bullcrap. I hope and pray it will end. Hopefully for this next month. I want everything back to normal. I want everybody to get their jobs back. I want everybody to do what they know best, like doing movies or TV shows or making good music. We gotta get rid of the bad ones, and we need to hear some good ones again. And all that important stuff. If you know what I mean. So, I'll see you all later, and sayonara.